Joining us now is Father Harrison, author of Mysterion, the Revelatory Power of the Sacramental Worldview.
That is quite a title, boy.
It really is. Father, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good,
We're
good.
doing great. All the way in Canada, huh?
Yeah, all the way on the West Coast over here.
Are you a fan of any of the sports teams up there?
I'm a Canucks fan, and we are the #1 team in the league. So take that, Boston Bruins.
Well, Bruins are close, though. Bruins, the Boston...
They're close. They're close. They won last night too. Yeah.
Yeah. You are a fan. Look at you. You're checking all that out.
I'm a big hockey fan.
Well, we're a fan of the book, so let's start with that. So the Sacramental Worldview, can you explain what that means?
Sure. Just I think on the elevator pitch idea of it is that it's that the material manifests, makes present, effective, and real the spiritual world for us. That through all this, we actually can participate in the life of God. That this is the heart of the Catholic faith, and that it builds upon what is always innate in us as human beings. That this is how we work as human beings. When we work through the senses, and that's how God wants to communicate with us. And so that the idea of the sacraments, the 7 sacraments as we have in the church, are rooted in this more foundational idea that God actually works always in and through the material world. And that this is something we have to kind of open our eyes to a bit more as Catholics, again, to see that this is the heart of being human. It's the heart of being human. And so the book is trying to unpack all the implications of this for us.
You'll be happy to know, Father Harrison, that I actually already bought your book.
Excellent.
But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I haven't read it yet because it's sitting in the pile. You know if you have a pile next to your chair? And you
Literally right next to my computer right here, I have a pile of books.
Yeah, but it's moving up. It's moving up.
Yep.
But now,
good.
now we know what a sacramental worldview is. Here's the question, though. How do we kind of apply that to our lives, our common journey together towards the kingdom?
Right. So it is in some ways it's at the root of everything we do. So like if you're a married family, the sacrament of marriage is always at work in how you're raising your kids, in the work you're doing every day. Just by virtue of our baptism itself, the Holy Trinity indwells in us. And so your work is a place where God's sanctification is lifting up and ennobling it into something more. So in one sense, it's not something we do; it's something grace does in us, right? That I think that's part of the heart of this. Is actually what we do is we become more receptive to God's grace. We become more receptive to what God wants to do in us, so that He can sanctify the day-to-day things we do and lift them up, and that they become means of actually encountering God. Our work, our family, our chores around the house. So you think of like Therese of Lisieux and Saint Teresa of Calcutta. These ideas of doing small acts with great love. They're imbued with God's love, so that they're actually lifted up to something even more dignified and beautiful, because God's grace has ennobled it and given it even more life. And so, in some ways, it applies to everything we do.
Well, you mentioned Saint Teresa of Calcutta. You worked with her sisters, and you've also worked in hospice. How have all these experiences shaped your worldview?
I'll give a quick story with that one. One of the stories that I hold dearly was, I try to do my holy hour every day, but we had a week where we had a lot of guys die in a hospice. I think it was 5 guys in 6 days. And one of the principles of the hospice was no one dies alone. So if someone's nearing death, there's always someone keeping vigil with them. And the sisters were on retreat, and there weren't a lot of people around. So I was one of the few people around, and I had to keep vigil all night. And I thought, I haven't done my holy hour yet. And then something hit me. Well, Mother Teresa says Christ is just as present in the poor as he is in the Eucharist. And so in a way, I saw that moment of accompanying this man in his death as a holy hour. I was present with Christ. And that was a really powerful experience for me. And I think that is a story that kind of symbolizes and encompasses the whole of the sacramental worldview.
That's a great example, and I think we're getting it now, what it really means to have this sacramental worldview. But how can that affect our faith lives going forward?
Oh my gosh! I mean, in every way possible. I think, so let's think. I got to take my priest hat off for a second and just think about maybe those people who, if you're at work, when you're dealing with maybe someone a problematic coworker, you begin to realize, well, Christ is at work here, really and truly. This person is Christ to me. Maybe you have someone who's going through a bit of a desolate time in your workplace. That's Christ poor. That's Christ in his poverty present to you. That you are actually an agent of Christ to them, because the church is the universal sacrament of salvation, makes Christ present to the world. And so how you witness, how you show Christian charity, how you show Christian patience, how you show Christian love to those people in need in your workplace is living out that sacramental worldview, because sacrament is not just something that participates, it also makes something effective. By showing Christ's love, you are affecting Christ's love for that person, and they encounter Christ through you, that this becomes the means. And so really, it affects everything. It affects absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, Father, unfortunately, we're running out of time. You have a video series that accompanies the book. Where can people get a copy of the book and the video series?
So you can get a copy of the book anywhere books are sold, especially the Pauline Sisters website. They're the ones who published it. If you buy it, I just encourage you to take off the dust jacket, because you'll see a nice surprise. The video series is available on connect.pauline.org/Mysterion, and it'll also be airing on Catholic TV.
Okay. Well, you know what? So Bishop and I both just did the same thing. We're not going to show people what it is, but it is gorgeous when you take off the dust cover.
It is.
It really is just beautiful.
This is a unique. The book itself is an experience of sacramentality.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All the more reason to get a copy.
That was awesome. Yeah. That was like a wow moment for me. You probably heard me. Don't show people. Oh, that's awesome. Father, thanks so much for being with us today.
Hey, thanks, you guys.
Have a great day.
I promise I'll read the book next.
Excellent.
Thank you.